everybody. Well, I think we'll all know I am Jill Tait, your admin on POP. And sitting next to me, we have our founder, Annette Tarpley. Hello, Annette.
Hello, Jill.
And yes, we are actually going to start this, and it is called POP 30. This is new, starting next week. We will give you the date up on the top of POP, so keep your eyes peeled. Now, the idea of this is brand new. So you've got to bear with us because this is a trial run. And POP 30, as it suggests, is going to be a randomly selected poet from, I do believe it's from my Saturday POP Picks competition. So all winners will be put in a little spin thing. Is this, will be in it? Will be a little spin dial, most like a game, really. And you will be picked at random, where you will be coming on here with me, your host, Jill Tait, and we will file through 30, because it's POP 30, 30 questions for you. And you can answer, there'll just be random questions that I select, and we will see how we go. But this is what we are going to do. So I'm going to start with our host, Annette Tarpley, and I'm going to give you a little trial run of what it's all about. Okay, Annette, are you ready for my first question, girl?
I am, but you're really the host of this. This Pop 30 is your baby. So I am ready. And
Well,
go ahead.
okay, Annette. So, when you get up in the morning, Annette, I know you work so many hours, too many hours, from what I gather, but imagine you weren't working. This is a day off, girl, for you. So, what would be an essential part of your daily routine?
Um, well, getting up, getting a cup of coffee, doing something with my hair, taking 5 minutes or less to put on my face, and dressed and out the door. So that's my morning routine, I guess, when I'm working. Otherwise, I spend most of the morning trying to wake up. So,
Okay, so you get up quite late. Do you like a lion in the morning, Annette? Do you like a lion in the morning with your coffee?
no,
And
usually
maybe reading a
my,
poem or
my back usually tells me not to. So, yeah.
oh, so you don't. So okay. So what about writing a poem of a morning? Do you write a poem of a morning? I would imagine you do. Is that when you
Sometimes,
write your poem in the morning?
no, usually more in the evening. I'm
Oh,
more
can
of
I
an evening.
just ask?
Yeah,
In the evening. What
yeah,
about if you have one spinning round in that head of yours in the middle of the night, Annette? Would you get up and have a little bit type there? Would you write? Start a poem?
yeah. I would. I would. If it was,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
do it whenever it comes upon me. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all very obsessive on that one. Okay, moving on, Annette. Now then, Christmas is you've just had your birthday, okay? Birthday girl. And somebody out of your family gives you this gift, and by the way, went to a lot of bother to get this gift for you, but the problem is you don't like it. And what do you do? Do you actually tell them? What do you do with this gift that you do not like?
I try to maintain a poker face and thank them and tell them how lovely it is. So no, I would not tell them. I would try to hopefully accept it and not let some of my facial expressions show otherwise. So I try to maintain my poker face.
Annette, what if it was an expensive vase and you had to put that prided place on your table, but you didn't like it? You had to live with it. How would you
Well,
handle that
I
one?
might just bring it out when they are there, whatever it is.
Okay, so
Make
you put
sure
it
it's
away in the
there.
cupboard. Okay,
Yeah,
good one.
hide it.
Right. Annette, is there any kind of job that you refuse to do? What would you hate as a job? What would you never do?
I don't enjoy cleaning ovens or doing windows. Those are jobs I don't like doing.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Yeah,
That's a
the
very,
windows
very
never
good
seem
one.
to be
Very,
without.
very good answer.
You wash them and wash them. There's no doesn't seem to be any kind of
Get a window cleaner.
yeah yeah.
So, another question. I think this could be question 4 now, I'm not sure. I haven't been counting. So, who or what inspires you in your career?
Who
Who would you
inspires me
say
in my
inspires you in your career? Yes.
I think I have self inspiration. I don't think that I don't have any major cheerleaders in my background, regarding my career. So I think it's really self motivation and self determination and self discipline. So I think
Very
it's really I
independent.
think it's me. Yeah.
So, what are your pet hates? What annoys Annette the most? Now, that could cover a
Um,
huge range of subjects.
I think my self procrastination annoys me a lot. That annoys me a lot, but I don't seem to change it. So one of these days, that's my goal to change my self procrastination.
Okay. Good luck on that one, Annette. Okay. Right, Annette. How old were you when you started working? What age
I
were
was
you when you started your first?
I was 15. I worked 3 days at a gas station opening that happened, and I pumped gas and washed
Wow.
windows and handed out balloons. So it was a grand opening, and I
Wow.
remember I worked so hard doing it, thinking I was going to get a full time job there. Of course, I didn't, but it was a 3 day job. That's what I remember my
Wow.
first job.
15-year-old. Wow. Wow. And what is the worst job you've ever had? Was that the one or
No, it was
no?
working as a nurse's aide when I was going to nursing school. Is the hardest work I ever did for the least amount of money. And I remember being in this tiny little room and having to wash out uh, soiled linens or bedding from patients, if you know what they were soiled,
Um,
and the
oh,
smell
yes.
just
Yes, that would be.
overcoming me, and kept thinking to myself, why am I going into nursing? So
Oh,
that's what,
wow.
yeah.
Hmm. That's not nice. So, what's your favorite part of your workday now? What part do you enjoy the most from a workday?
Go, going home. It's my favorite part
Hmm.
of the work day. The end of the
You
day
have
when I get.
long drives, so don't you? Sometimes you have a long drive home, so
Sometimes I
that
do,
must be
yeah,
awful.
yeah, yeah. It's not always fun, but just knowing that I'm off is good. So
Strange question, this isn't it? But do you believe in a 5-year plan, like a diary? Like an organized diary? Do you believe in? Would you write a 5 years plan, and would you stick to that 5-year plan?
I would not do that because I can't seem to stick to a year plan. So
No, you're very
5 year plan, definitely not. No, I don't seem to. I think it's hard a lot of times to set out goals that are that, far away and to abide by them. So I don't think I do that. No.
okay. So it's a no-no. Now then, Annette, remember your grandparents. Are your grandparents still alive? Mine aren't. I've
No,
never seen my grandparents.
my last one died almost 2 years ago. My grandma, she was almost 102. So they're
Wow,
gone.
that's good for you, though, Annette. So, what can you remember her favourite story that sticks in your mind?
Favorite story that sticks in my mind. I just remember a story that she once told me about her father. I think it was her father, who had fallen at a young age, I believe, and had broken his hip. And
Oh,
it seemed like they were like in, I don't know, North Dakota, South Dakota, or somewhere kind of almost on the frontier. And they were moving around, and he fell down and broke his hip. And this was at a very young age. So for all of his life,
mm-hmm.
he walked with this limp. He never got it fixed.
Oh,
So
You
he
see,
walks with
in
one,
those
but
days.
one of his legs was shorter than the other. And then later in life, she said, as an elderly person, he fell again and broke the same thing, and then it went to normal. So it was kind of weird.
Hmm.
So it's no longer short; it's elongated. That was the story. So that's a
Hmm.
memory I can remember.
Oh.
That she would tell me stories about my father being mischievous. That they lived in a very small town called St. Anthony, and some of the older men would sit out there on a bench, and they'd have them go up on the roof of the post office and like throw things at people and do naughty things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Well, that is funny. So, do you have siblings? I think you've told me, but for the benefit of other people, do you have siblings, Annette?
mhm. I have a brother who passed with my father, and then I have a sister, and I have a half brother. So, and then I have a step
And,
sibling as well. Yes. So,
and are you close to them, or would you prefer to have more siblings, perhaps? Oh, I've got a good
not very
question for
close to
you.
them because they all live so far away. So it's kind of
Far
hard to,
away. Would,
yeah.
would would you like to be a twin?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. That might be kind of
Can you
fun. My grandmother was
can
a
you just
twin.
imagine?
Yeah. My
Oh, right,
grandmother, my
okay.
mother's
And was
mother
she
was
an
a twin.
identical? Was she an
That would be fun
identical twin?
too. Then you could play jokes on
Wouldn't that be
people.
good?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay.
Be like a parent
So,
trap.
mm, so how would you show your family that you love them? And I'm sure you do this anyways.
Um, I think I show my family I love them. There's times when I write things for them, and I think that is the time when I really let my feelings go. And so when I write things for them, like when they graduate or just had a
Straight from the
child,
heart.
yeah.
So how do you feel about family events? Would you
Um,
always go along to support your children, to a family event?
I like family events. I'm not in on much of them anymore. So, there's not many family events for me. I liked them as a child. Growing up, when I lived in Iowa, we had, a family reunion every year and things like that. So that was a big thing. Or even, holidays at, families' houses. But, I don't get that too much anymore.
Hmm.
Although I am going to be going home for Christmas. I bought my plane ticket because I was going to be alone for Christmas and Christmas Eve this year. I bought a
That's
plane ticket to go
nice.
home to Iowa. So most of my
Mm.
family doesn't know yet. So yeah,
What did I say to you? I'll pray to St. Anthony for you, girl, because you told me you were going to be alone. And I said, no,
yeah,
I'll pray to St. Anthony. Yeah,
yeah.
that's amazing.
I have a
So,
cousin that convinced me. She says you need to come to Iowa. You don't need to be alone. So there you go. Yeah.
excellent. Well, that's lovely news in it. That's lovely. So, is there anything about you that would secretly surprise your family? They don't know this, mind. Is there anything you can think of that would give them a shock, perhaps?
Um.
Anything?
No, I'm pretty boring.
There must be
Can't think of
something you're
anything.
not telling me here.
No,
So,
no, no.
which family member do you confide in the most? Have you got one special member of your family that you would tell things to, confide in the most?
I have a cousin that I confide in a lot too. Yeah. So
And is
yeah,
this where
we
you're
talk.
going for Christmas?
Yeah, yeah.
Is this the
Mhm.
same cousin? Yes. Okay, so you're quite close to this cousin, I can tell. Okay. Now, who do you deal with arguments with between family members? Who do you deal with arguments between family
Mm.
members? I'm reading that
Well,
one out and I'm not quite getting the right.
usually they go through me now that I'm the older one. So if there's
Okay.
an
So
argument or
you,
issue.
you're the piggy in the middle.
Yeah, when my
You, the piggy
grandmother
in the
was
middle. You have to
alive.
sort things out.
Yeah, when my grandmother was alive, she was very close-lipped about things. So you didn't find out about things usually from her. So kind of kept close-lipped about things. So
Now then, Annette. What's more important to Annette? Our family or our friends? Now that's a tough one.
well, family is always, I think, most important. But sometimes you can pick friends. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your relatives. So sometimes you can pick friends that are,
That's a
equally good as well. Sometimes, you might be closer to them or able to confide in them more. So, yeah.
Is there anything, what makes you proud of your family? I'm sure they'll be proud of you, but what makes you proud of your family?
I think with my children, it's seeing them as parents and seeing what good parents they are and how they're rearing their children. So, and how much they love their children and family. So that makes me proud.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Moving away from your family. Very personal question, isn't it? Do you believe in love at first sight?
Um, I believe it's probably possible. I've just personally not experienced it. So I suppose that there are people that happens to, but um, it's not happened to me personally. So yeah.
Not happen now. I don't think it really happens, but you never know. Somebody's lucky out there. And what do you look for in a friendship?
I look for
What
loyalty.
would Annette look for in a friendship?
Loyalty.
Yes,
Someone who's loyal. It's hard to find friends that you can confide in and tell something to that that they are loyal and true. So yeah, loyalty.
honesty and loyalty.
In honesty,
Top
yes.
of the list.
Yeah, yeah, both. Yeah.
Now, Annette, what life lessons have you learned the hard way?
Um,
Hmm.
I think there are so many that I can't begin to imagine what. I think that there's many mistakes I've made in life, and I've had to learn the hard way. Um, I guess what I always say to that is, the smart people learn from their own mistakes, but the brilliant people learn from other people's mistakes. And unfortunately, I don't learn from others very often. I usually learn from my own mistakes. So I might be smart, but I'm not brilliant. So that would be my answer.
Have you ever experienced true love? You think you have, and if you have, how would you know? Have you experienced true love? I can hear your dog joining in there in the background.
Yeah, I muted. I'm not sure what she's reacting to. Have I? So what was the question? Have I experienced true love?
You don't need to mute your dog. It's great. Have you
Yeah.
experienced true love? And if you have, how did you know it was true love?
Um, I would answer that by saying that there's been times where I thought I experienced true love, but I don't feel like I've really experienced it. So that
So
would
you
be my
learned the
answer.
hard way there, didn't you? You learned
Yeah.
the hard way in life. You did. Okay. So now then, this is a difficult one. If you only had one sense, i.e., hearing, your touch, your sight, feeling, smell, which one would be, you would have to have that one and you would lose the rest in it?
Oh. Um, I guess it's gonna be the smell, sense of smell.
Oh,
I don't
what,
want to
you
lose
would
sight.
keep the smell. You don't want to lose your sense of smell.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to lose my sight or my hearing or my sense of touch.
Ah, that's the thing. Which one would you You had to lose one, so you're saying your sense of smell. Wow.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to lose a smell of lobster, obviously. That's your favorite food.
Well, I would lose my sense of smell over all the other senses.
Yes, that's what I
So,
thought you said. That's exactly the right answer. I would have said that too. I thought you had it the other way around, and that
no, no,
puzzled
no,
me
no.
because you
No,
wouldn't
I
want to
know.
be
I want to.
blind,
I would lose
and
my
you
sense
wouldn't.
of smell
Yes.
over everything else. Yeah.
Okay. So, what makes you feel at peace? When do you feel at your calmest?
Um, I took a bubble bath the other night. That was very peaceful.
We're a bit psychic, you and I, because it came in my mind candles and a bubble bath. You
Exactly.
said it.
That's it. Candles
Excellent.
with a bubble
I think
bath
those,
and
I think those
music
ladies
playing.
are all the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which of your personality traits are you most proud of?
I think that I have a sense of humor. Not everybody sees it. I usually have to have somebody kind of laughing at me and kind of finding me amusing, and then I kind of feed off of it, and then I can just like hit it. And if somebody knows how to banter, I'm really good at bantering if they have a sense of humor. So I have that,
I've heard you
and
tell a couple of jokes, so
yeah, well, I'm not gonna. I only know one joke, and it's not very appropriate. So,
I heard
um,
you joking. It was appropriate, never mind.
yeah, Richard is here from Canada. So Richard says hello, and then he says, "This is funny." He says, "I would lose my sense of decency." Love
That's
that.
not on the list. That's not on the list,
It
Richard.
wasn't on
No
the list,
way. Not,
Richard. It wasn't on the
not
list.
accepting that one, Richard.
But
So
I admire that sense of humor. So I have a sense of humor. I think I'm
that's
a very
excellent.
loving, kind, caring, and giving person. Um, those are I think my attributes.
Annette, have you ever lost a good friend? And if so, what happened to this friend?
I lost a good friend last year in July. She was my best friend from childhood, and I actually wrote a poem and made a video about it. It's on YouTube somewhere. Um, I think it's called the day the heavens cried or something like that. I felt really
Mhm.
guilty because when she died a couple days earlier, she had called me and I didn't get the call. I didn't receive the call and I didn't answer it. Sometimes she would be a little emotionally overwhelming for me, and so I felt really guilty. So she died early. She had a lot of health problems. She lost her husband a few years before and just kind of was on a thing. Even though they just got divorced, she loved him and she was didn't take care of herself after that. So yeah,
Oh, that's very sad.
it was sad.
I'm going to cheer you up here again. What's the scariest thing you've ever done in your life? And why did you do it?
Scariest thing I've ever done in my life. Well, I don't know if this is the scariest. I guess it's more suspenseful. But I remember when I was in high school, or maybe it was junior high. Junior high, I was with my sister, I think, and maybe a couple other girls, and then some boys. And the boys were egging vehicles on the main road. It was one of the main roads. And when they egged a semi, the semi driver went and slammed on his brakes, came after us, and we were like running away. And it was very scary for me. And then we jumped this fence. And when I jumped the fence, I fell on my back. And that's actually how I ruptured my kidney.
Oh,
I ruptured my kidney
dear me.
and then found out that I had a disease I was born with, and later, just a few months later, got my kidney taken out. So, but that
Dear
was
me.
my most kind of frightening thing was that night we were trying to run away from the truck driver. Yeah.
Dear me. Not nice at all, Annette. Not a good one. Huh. So, What is the definition of success? How would you define the definition of success?
I think success is really reaching an inner peace about yourself. I think that is success. When we have reached, an inner peace about ourselves, where we are in life, I think we have reached, certain success when we are satisfied with the person we've become. So I think that is success.
Now, Annette, I haven't got a clue how many questions I have asked you now. I haven't got the foggiest girl. Have
Well,
you been counting?
can I just tell you something that
Yeah?
this is a new thing that we're trying out. This is a demo,
For
y'all.
30 minutes, people, and I think we went
So
over the
so
30
so
minutes.
yeah, so it's actually 30 minutes. But then I was thinking you
Yes.
need to let the person probably read a poem or something of theirs in the end. So,
Well,
at least they can, we can do something with poetry in the end. So, you want me to read a poem? We're
yeah.
almost at 30 minutes.
Yes, yes. Annette,
I have to
but
come up with
Annette,
something. I don't even know what I'm going to read
have you
because I
got one
haven't
handy
written.
there?
I've got the short story, but it's way too long. Hold on just a second. I just finished a short story, and I made
It's,
you
I
listen to
heard
it.
it, people.
And
Watch
you
this
said
space, it's
that,
brilliant.
yeah, you said that you never listen.
No,
So
I'll give you a little secret. I never listen to a story. My mind shuts off. Don't know why. But Annette had wrote one today, and I heard a little bit of it earlier on, and she said, "Do you want to hear the end?" Of course, I want to hear the end. You read it, girl. Do you know what? She'd had me intrigued. I was captivated with this story. Halloween night as well, mine, so it's quite scary, but well done. Bravo, I loved it, Annette.
I'm glad. I'll have to kind of go over it again. This is called She Danced with the Fireflies.
Ooh,
She was a shy
yes.
and lonely girl at the mere age of 7. She walked in her spacious yard, looked up at the heavens. She said, God, please give me friends. I feel so alone. My dad and mom are always fussing. Our house doesn't feel like a home. The night became brighter as the clouds parted ways with the moon, stars twinkling beacons in the sky that arid night in late June. The fireflies were numerous, yellow glows of flashing light. To the rhythmic serenade she danced. Pleasant was the night. Snugly tucked into bed that night, she thanked God in her prayers. He had listened to her, sent her the fireflies of her loneliness, he was aware. Many years had come and gone, old and lonely. Would God hear her cries? Out into her darkened yard, smiling as she danced with the fireflies. So that is it. That's my
Beautiful.
poem.
That's really
Yeah,
lovely. I love fireflies.
yeah. And so we have a
I
couple
think they're the
more.
most magical things.
They are. They
A
just line
couple
up.
more.
There's not too many bugs I like, but I like fireflies, of course, butterflies and ladybugs, things like that. We have uh
Dragonflies are beautiful as well.
sorry for your loss. Thank you, Richard. She was a good friend. And then he has having
Hello,
maintained relationships is his definition for success. And that's actually a great one. Wish I would have said that. Can I change my answer? And then we have
nope, nope,
success
not,
is
not now, no.
something like getting inner peace with
Stop.
yourself, Annette Tarpley. So yes, inner peace is good. And I really like this piece. It's nice to hear you recite. Love the fireflies. Thank you. So this was a demo of what Jill's going to be doing once a week, and it's called again. What is it called, Jill?
Pop 30, hosted by Jill Tate.
Right. Hosted by Jill Tate. She's going to host it once a week. The days may vary, but you're going to, for 30 minutes, um, do this thing where you ask people questions. They can
So,
recite a poem in the end. And then, yeah, so something new. and it'll be
Yes,
random
it's fun
pieces.
for
So it
me.
won't be so much, we're asking about poetry and things like that. She's going to ask more fun questions. So, yeah.
It's
So,
fun so everybody can get to know everybody on pop. I think
yeah.
that's good. Everybody likes to know everybody. So
So
that's
this was just
really
a
interesting
demo.
to hear people's.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was a demo, and Jill's going to be randomly selecting people. So, good luck, Jill, and
Oh,
hope
yes, we
that
should have fun.
yeah, it'll be fun. So goodbye to everyone that's watching. Thanks for watching us in this little demo of Pop 30 that will be coming soon. So when do you think? Is that going to be next week or this week, Jill?
I would say probably maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll arrange Tuesday or Wednesday. Do you think, Annette, would that be wise? Yes?
Yeah, yeah.
Have to
Why
suit it
don't we
in
do
with everybody's
Wednesday?
time scale here.
Why don't we do Wednesday since I'm off and I'll be kind of doing things in the background? That would be
So,
good.
everybody that has taken part in my competition on Saturday, and I had a lot of people. I hope you all enjoyed the theme. I'm going to pick somebody at random. Probably, I've got a little bingo with a lot of numbers there, so I can pick somebody at random there, give you all a number, and one lucky winner, hopefully, will be sitting by me, and I'll ask you some questions, and everybody can get to know you. And we should have fun.
Bye, Richard. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye, Richard. See you
All
soon.
right. Bye. Bye, Jill. Good luck.
Bye.
Do well. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Annette. Bye bye.
Bye, darling.